year ago when our son Nico was, going through his healing process. So I did get a very, very, very negative text from him during that process. And I'm glad you asked that because then I can address, he made a comment where he hasn't contacted our son because I left a very, he didn't say harsh, very aggressive voicemail. And in a way, I will say that that is true because once the text was received, I did make it very, very, very clear that this type of negativity is not what's going to be allowed in this space. And if this type of negativity is what you're bringing, do not bring it here.
So I'm gonna go ahead and translate real quick. Whatever he said, he was holding her accountable. Always listen to how a woman will tell a story. Always pay attention to the specifics. She didn't actually say what was said, what was he trying to infer, what was the main message. She didn't speak to any of that shit. She just said, no, even for herself, I made it very clear. I left a harsh. What did you say, man? Like, you could simply just say, hey, so I told him, hey, I think it would be best if you didn't reach out to us, or I think it would be best if you did so and so and so and so. All right. Whenever people start just describing the feelings of something and they don't give you the specifics, if they won't take you there and give you the whole story in terms of events, all right, the events as they happen. When people do not allow you to make your own opinion based off the events or based off the story, that person, again, this is how women control and manipulate. What she's doing is covering herself up. Shout out to CJ. He was pointing this out too. How she was trying to basically cover up the fact that you made it to where during Nico's last days of his life, his father basically you put a rift between him and his father. So first of all, we don't know what the hell he even said to you, right? And what was the actual issue. But we're gonna go ahead and fast forward in a moment, you know what I mean, to what was said on the message. Matter of fact, let's do it now. Let's do it now.
That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar. In a book, but we
and one. McKnight, he also have
Christ.
because doctors
ourselves living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in.
So this is a video. Okay, now you can tell Brian Knight's a real old nigga. Old niggas always like Crunk Rick Adams. All old niggas be trying to hold the phone. Yo, he's not even in frame. And that's how I know it's an old nigga. Old niggas trying to hold the phone and do videos. Unless you're walking and get out and about, there is no need to hold the phone and do a video. You can just hit the video down, sir, and say what you have to say. So anyway, people didn't know, right? But basically, he was in litigation. So while she's on these different press runs and whatnot, and they're talking crazy online and everything, right? And everyone's talking crazy about Brian McKnight. He sued them for defamation. Now, of course, he's not going to see any of that money because his ex-wife doesn't have $8.8 million. But the point is this. No one wants to be taken to court. All right? The last place anyone wants to go is court. But in order for people to understand, you are not going to just take a black man's name and drag it through the mud for your own benefit, to get clicks and views, to be relevant online, right? To prove a point. It's not going to happen no more. A lot of black men have to suffer for a whole lifetime because they had kids with the wrong woman. Or really, especially for black men, well, it's really Western men in general, but black men in particular. A lot of black men suffer for the rest of their lives, especially the kind of black men who are actually going to take care of their kids. Men suffer so much for wanting to have a family. You pay the ultimate price. All she do is fuck you over again and again and again and again. And the more you have, the more she can do it. Because again, if he was a Joe Schmo, she wouldn't be able to go on no goddamn podcast or a radio show and talk shit. Right? If he was Joe Schmo, then his kids will understand, damn, I mean, shit, I can't look at my dad to pay my rent. But because he Brian McKnight, and because he's trying to show his kids love and get him a leg up, because for the most part, it may not always work, but your children are more likely to be upper class when you give them a good head start. It does not help children to have to start at the very bottom. Okay? Like, just me having a grandmother that has space for me to live at, in a house and whatnot, right? That made it to where I can go to school and finish school and have a degree. And then from there, I was able to pursue so many different opportunities and go down different avenues and just do so many different things because I had an education. I had time to do that. But let's say if I had to pay rent, I might have had to be in working full time. I might not be able to go to school like that. You know what I mean? Or be able to go to school even part time. But I was able to get it done. Not only that, the resources, the information. You know, when you have more successful parents, you have more you have people who actually know what they're talking about, who can actually give you the mindset, give you the steps to get to where you need to get to. But fuck, man, shit. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Pause the video real quick. Anyway, like I was saying, my bad. Goodness gracious. So much for my production, right? Anywho, so most importantly, like I was saying before, was that in terms of how the expectation when it comes to black men is that you are willing to lay down and die. I don't know how else to put it. Years ago, I think a few years back, right? This is from Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown. And he was saying that he was talking to a white guy years ago, right? And the white guy was saying that the problem with black people is that you don't fight back. Like, you don't truly fight back. You know what I mean? Like you're not really wanting to go to war like that. And for the most part, that's one of the reasons why black men haven't been more dominant in this country. And I mean, listen, despite all the conditions, despite the laws and legislation against us, from the time we've been in this country, we still managed to become millionaires. We still managed to become middle class. We still, first of all, black men are mostly middle class. Mostly. But a lot of us have a self-defeating mindset. A lot of us, we have a white supremacist mindset where you buy into all the stereotypes about your own people, right? You actually do see yourself as inferior and as someone who needs to work on themselves. And I'm not saying that you don't need to work on yourselves and have progress, right? But a lot of black men spend more time thinking that something's wrong with them or that they need to stay in a place and mind their business more than anything else. A lot of black men, especially African American men, do not even see themselves as leaders. They feel as though they need to be deferring to the leadership of a woman, or in their mind, like I know you guys maybe have heard of the phrase, not the phrase, but the perspective of men live their lives through women. When the woman, it was a girl who tweeted that, right? And what she was saying was, yeah, you know, men won't even go anywhere or spend money or do this or do that without a woman. But it goes deeper than that. Most men, they want to get the haircut for the attention that will come from a girl, the validation from a girl. They want that car for the girl. They want that job for the girl. And that's why a lot of men think, all right, once I get this car, once I get this money, I'll be able to get this girl. Don't get me wrong. You may be able to afford that girl now, right? But just when you get the car, it doesn't automatically happen, right? It takes time. It's more than that. It's more nuanced than that. You're going to have to, go out there and meet people. You're going to have to find opportunities to meet people. Make yourself attractive. Make yourself available, right? Raise the good old SMV. But anywho, let's go ahead and play this clip real quick.
God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is...
So the ex-wife, Julie, actually went and wrote a book. And wrote a book filled up with lies. So you got to ask yourself, what makes someone think they can get away with writing a whole book based on lies to ruin your ex-husband? Because that's the culture of America. It's what's expected. The black man is the most unprotected person in this country. That's crazy. Crazy. So we had Steph Curry last week. Now we got Brian McKnight. Listen, whether y'all realize it or not, y'all women coming online trying to defend this lady, trying to go at Brian McKnight, you are becoming more and more irrelevant when it comes to dating. Other black men, the black men who actually got this shit together, they see these videos, bro. They're not going to say, oh, well, you know, I'll take my chances. No, my nigga. No.
It's just the beginning. Because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come.
Do you hear that? Anyone that helped promote these lies, son that passed to be with him in his home with him, he's texting him because he wants to see his son. He's texting him because he wants to set up something where his son could be with him for.
Text Miko again.
Lying. They be lying.
So I want to play this clip from the voicemail. This is the voicemail that she's talking about.
Let's play it again. Let's play that again.
Voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Miko again. Do not call Miko again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about it.
And all this boils down to really just one thing. Just one thing. All of this is because of what he said when he got with Leilani Mendoza, who's a doctor.
So I want to get out of there for a quick second. I actually want to play a few of these clips of the, I guess you could say, the reaction from Keisha Gang. So what the Keisha Gang tried to do for the most part is what they want to make you think is, well, first and foremost, how dare you go against your Lord and Savior? Because what they're going with the narrative of, you are a deadbeat, you're a terrible person. How dare you put a black woman through anything? You're putting her, and then that's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You have no proof of any of that shit. This is how the black community's been run for a long time, where black women just say shit. Just say shit. And it's to the point where, and again, and you raise your kids to think that, well, I don't have to be right. I don't have to know what I'm talking about. I can just say shit. I can say whatever I want to say. And